What does it mean to be a man of God in today's world? You know, that's an interesting question, especially in the society that we live in. As men, we're constantly being bombarded with different messages about what it means to be a real man. We're told that we have to be tough. We're told that we can't show weakness. We have to be independent, and the list goes on and on. But are these the things that God really expects of us? You know, the world tries to convince us that our worth in life comes from our status or our accomplishments. But if that were really true, why do we have so many people who are successful but feel completely empty on the inside? Now, if that's you, or you fall into that category, I want you to keep watching this video because I want to leave you with a few things to consider. I think one of the key principles that defines God's standards for men is leadership. Now, I know when a lot of people hear that word, they think about being the individual that's in charge, being the person who calls the shots, the final decision maker, things of that nature. But when you search the scriptures, you discover very quickly that that's not what God had in mind when he talked about leadership, especially as it relates to men. From God's perspective, leadership is about serving and not being served. It's about understanding that often you're called to put the needs of others before your own, while trusting in God's ability to make sure that you're okay as you obey his will. You know, the Bible is full of godly examples of men who kept God's standard. Men like David, men like Joseph, men like Paul. Now, don't get me wrong, these brothers certainly were not perfect by any means, but they all did understand that real strength comes not when you're relying on your own ability, but when you're relying on the strength that comes from God. These brothers also had characteristics like integrity and compassion. Those things are also important to God, and especially for those that he claims as his own. You know, living up to God's standard is not about being perfect. Although we strive for perfection, down here, we don't reach it. But living up to his standard is about being surrendered. It's about being obedient. It's about being willing to do what God has called us to do in order to advance his kingdom. Brothers, the Lord definitely has expectations for us. And you know what? Everyone who seeks to meet God's expectations always finds fulfillment and purpose in their lives. So what are your thoughts? Share with me in the comments below. And before you go, give this video a thumbs up and take a moment to check out another one of the videos on my channel. The one that's appearing on your screen right now is a real good one.